Okay, so now we're in chapter 5.3 and we're going to be looking at the special products. Our first objective is to use FOIL in polynomial multiplication. So FOIL stands for first, outer, inner, and then last. Whenever you use the method of FOIL, you'll have a binomial multiplying by another binomial. So that means two terms in the first polynomial multiplying by two terms in the second polynomial. And F again stands for the first, so you're going to multiply the first terms together. So that means I have AX times CX. And then O stands for outer or outside, so you're going to multiply the outside terms together. So that's AX times D. And then I is inner or inside, so multiply the inside terms together. So now we move on to B, and it's BX times CX. And then L is last, so multiply the last terms together, and it's B times D. And that makes FOIL. You'll notice that this is the same that we learned from 5.2. It says each term in the first polynomial is going to multiply each term in the second polynomial. So FOIL means the same as what we were doing in 5.2. As you're working the problems in 5.3, you can use any method. You can choose to FOIL if you have it memorized already, or you can choose to apply the lessons from 5.2. So let's go in our books to page 369, and we're going to look at the following problems, starting with number 11. And of course it says use FOIL to find each product. And for 11, we have 3y minus 7 times 4y minus 5. So remember, FOIL stands for first, outer, inner, last. So we're going to take the 3y and multiply it by the 4y. This is first. Remember, multiply the coefficients together. Keep the variable and add the exponents. So 3 times 4 makes 12. Keep our y, and then 1 plus 1 is squared. So this is 12y squared. Then continuing, we have 3y times negative 5. And that's negative 15y. And then negative 7 times 4y is negative 28y. And then last would be negative 7 times negative 5, which is plus 35. Then we end off by combining our like terms. So we have 12y squared minus 43y plus 35. And this will be our final answer. Since it's in descending order based off of the powers, that's what we call standard form. All right, let's move on to number 23. And again, we're multiplying, and this time we have 8x to the third power plus 3 times x squared plus 5. So again, remember, you can use FOIL or you can use from what you learned from 5.2. They mean exactly the same. So FOIL is first, so multiply the first terms together. So 8x to the third power times x squared. Well, that's going to be 8x to the fifth power. Remember the invisible 1. 8 times 1 is 8. Keep the x's and add the exponents. And then outer is going to be 8x to the third times 5. Which is going to be plus 40x to the third power. And then inner, 3 times x squared is plus 3x squared. And then last, 3 times 5, which is plus 15. These are not like terms, therefore this is my final answer. And then last one, number 47. The instructions say multiply using the rules for the square of a binomial. You do not have to memorize the different forms of your special products. You can always choose to FOIL or the lesson from 5.2. If you would like to memorize the different forms, you can do so. And if you have questions, you can feel free to email me, but it's not required. I'm going to rewrite this by using the concept of a square. Remember that a square means take whatever is being squared and multiply it by itself twice. So that means 2x plus 5 times 2x plus 5. If that was a third power, I would multiply it by itself 3 times. So I would have another 2x plus 5. So now I see I can use FOIL, or I can use the concepts from 5.2, which said each term of the first polynomial is going to multiply each term of the second. So we're going to start with our 2x. 2x times 2x makes that 4x squared. And then 2x times 5, that's plus 10x. And then 5 times 2x is plus 10x. And then 5 times 5 is plus 25. Now we combine our like terms, and our final answer is going to be 4x squared plus 20x plus 25. And here's our final answer. So remember, if you see a square, make sure you rewrite it first, and then you can follow the steps for foiling or what we learned from 5.2. Here are the special forms. We have the square of a binomial sum, the square of a binomial difference, and the product of the sum and difference of two terms. You may memorize them if you choose to do so, or you can just memorize FOIL or the steps from 5.2. If you have any questions on 5.3, please email me.